We are going to go through today how to build your own content hub inside of Airtable that lets you store, organize, and do some really cool things with your content that's going to save you so much time, save you flitting around trying to find everything, and just have it all in a nice, organized, systemized way so that you can actually get more out of your content, help you create less, and just be super organized inside of your business. So welcome to my channel. My name is Jenny Stevens, in case we're meeting for the first time. And I love geeking out over systems, automation, ways that's going to make your business run more efficiently, save you time, save you brain space, and allow you more flexibility and freedom in your business. And that feeds in the lifestyle that you want. And without systems and processes there to support you, then you are just ending up working way harder and way longer than you need to. Now, when it comes to content creation, this is one of the areas that has been probably my biggest struggle. And I have tried so many different ways to have my workflow, the process going on, tried so many different tools and techniques and stuff. And Airtable has definitely been the biggest change, a game changer, I would say, in how this all comes together. I only discovered it thanks to a friend's recommendation about 6 months to a year ago. And I absolutely love it. I did a video recently. I will link that in the description, in the show notes. You can go and watch in terms of just what's the purpose of creating a content hub, a bit about Airtable, the different views that I created. But this video, I want to dive into how can you create one from scratch for yourself so this is the template that I created. So if you don't want to have to create it all yourself, you can just go and grab this template and download it, and you can then customize it with how you want. So you can do that in the description below. But I want to walk through how to set it up. It helps you to learn how to use the tool so that you can customize it. Or you may have other ideas of things that you want to use it for. And so this can just kind of help show you how you can create better efficiencies, how you can create more of a systemized approach, and what you can do with Airtable. So this is the template that we're basically going to kind of rebuild some of this. So here we have got a place for all of your content to be stored. We have got different columns that are going to act as different places for you to store and organize your content. And then we've got different views, which is the biggest game changer. So let me just quickly show you my content hub. So this is mine. And it's a constant evolving. I'm doing lots of reworking and restructuring some things. But here you can see I've got so many different pieces of content in here. And this isn't even everything. This is just stuff that I moved from my previous one in Trello. But the great thing that I love about Airtable is the ability to create completely customizable views. So if you have come from Trello like I did, you would be used to seeing content in more of a board view like this. But the thing I love about this is that I can choose what is visible by what. Okay, so you can see that this one is by content type. So I've split it out into kind of more awareness and top of funnel and visibility content, more kind of middle of funnel, influence, connection, about getting to know me, sharing my expertise, that authority content, and then kind of more promotional stuff. I can also see my content based on the call to action. So I've got my different lead magnets and my different offers. I can see it in calendar view. I can see it by status. And I can see just emails. I can see launch content. And it just allows you, it gives you so much flexibility for how you might want to view your content based on a specific time and whatever it is that you're doing. So I basically created a simpler view, obviously, that's kind of empty. I've kind of taken all of the best lessons that I learned from creating mine and evolving mine over the last, over the months, and created you a nice, simple template. So if you are new to Airtable, I'll put a link below so you can go and start yourself a free account. And everything I'm going to show you is from the free account. You only need a paid account if you've got really high volume, or there's a couple of more advanced things. But, for the majority of people, free is absolutely fine. So once you've got your free account, let's come back. Let's come and create a brand new thing. So here's all the ones that I've got. I'm just going to come into my template. So here's my Content Hub template. So we're just going to come to create, and start from scratch. So it's going to open up with this blank template. So you can just kind of close all this stuff down. You can give it a name. You can choose the color. So let's just make this orange, and I'm just going to call this Demo Content Hub. You can choose the, all the colors and stuff that you may want. So choose whatever floats your boat. Okay. So this is the standard. It gives you these columns as default, and it gives you 3 different views. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up my other content hub on my other screen so I can see what it is that we're doing. But for the most part, I'm going to delete these columns for now, and we'll build them from scratch. I've basically got the content hub in with 2 tabs, but you may not necessarily need them. So if we're just going to start simple, we're just going to have a place for all of your content. So I'm going to just call this all content. And you can see it gives you drop downs of like, what do you want to call each? These are called records, but again, depending on what you're doing, you could call it a creative if you want. You can call these whatever you want. It's basically a new row. And what Airtable is, if you're new to it, it's basically like a Google Sheets on steroids, but it just allows you to, like I say, view your data in so many different ways. And you've got automations, and you can build dashboards to like bring your metrics together. So I'm actually converting a lot of my spreadsheets over to Airtable and just see, actually, is this a better fit? And, what things can stay as spreadsheets and what things can I do inside of Airtable instead. Okay, so we're going to start off with let's call this, so we can come to edit field, and you can rename and you can change the type of field it is. So here is a list of all the different types of fields that you can have. Okay, so I'm just going to call this, let's call this a post description, right? So if you just want to have a quick one-liner, like, is this a 3 tips to do whatever kind of reel, or this is a lead magnet promotion, like a direct post. Like if you just want to have a quick one-liner just so you can kind of see easily what it is, then you could use this post description for that. Now, if you want to, then you can then have an official title, or you could have fields for a hook or whatnot. So we'll come to that in a second. I'm just going to get some of the main content pieces set up that helps you have your content with more intention. So we're going to use lots of single selects. This is a drop down. So this is a great way for you to categorize your content so that you can build all those different views that I showed you in my template. And you can do so much with it. You can also have multiple selects, which is great for your platforms. But let's just start off with we'll just do a quick status one here, and you literally just click on add option, and then you just type your statuses. So in my template, I have created a planning status, and I've even got a separate tab just for planning. But if you want to have a place that you can organize when you're just sort of moving your content about, you're trying to decide, right, what's the next 30 days looking like, and you want to have it categorized as a planning phase, then you could have planning. You could then have that it's planned and like ready to go. You could then have a to-do, in progress. You could have, I don't know, whatever you want. You could have something like awaiting graphics if you want, like if you're outsourcing anything, or if you're a solopreneur and you're doing everything yourself, you could have a to be reviewed or approved. You could do that, approved, and then you could have ready to published, like literally the possibilities around this. You can just create whatever ones you want. You can have colors, or you can just turn off colors, and you can change the colors however you want. So you can literally create whatever kind of process you want. So think about this as your stages of your content process if you want to use this. And then you can create different, like I say, different views based on that. So let me just quickly check mine. So yeah, I have planned to do in progress, awaiting something. So again, you may want to have something rather than, or you could have it specific. It could be you're waiting for somebody to edit your video. It could be you're waiting for graphics. Then it could be, to be approved or ready for approval. It's approved or, so let's add in approved. And the cool thing with this is that, again, if you have team members, then, if you have somebody else that's scheduling your post for you, by having like this as a ready to schedule or publish, then the people that are doing that bit, they just need to focus on that one and they can see the content that they're doing. Okay, so let's do that for now. Okay, so we have our status. Then we'll want a date, so we can come here and choose date and publish date. Pubish. Publish date. Okay, and again, you can choose the time zone that you have. Then, I say, it's useful to think about what's the goal of your post. Is this for engagement? Is this to promote something? Is this to get more awareness and visibility? So I have an option that is content intention, and this just helps me see, actually, am I too heavily focused on one thing and not enough on others? So I call mine, this is my VIP framework. So I have visibility, or it's known as awareness. I kind of have VIP act or act VIP. So it's kind of like, I couldn't decide between the sort of acronyms. So you've got visibility, and then the I is influence, but all this can be connection. So you've got awareness, connection, and then you have promote, or this can be sort of transact. This is kind of my two different ways that you can have this. All right. And again, you can do, because this is completely customizable, you can have whatever you want. If you want to add in engagement, if you want to add in humor, like whatever you want, you can make this your own, which is the beauty of it. Then let's have all the different platforms that your post is going to be for. So for this one, we're going to choose multiple select. So now we'll call it platform. So now we can add all the different things that you have. Okay, so we can have Instagram. And if you want to specify that this is like a grid or carousel post, you can do that. You can then have Instagram Reels. We then have Facebook. You can have Facebook Reels. You can have TikTok. You can have YouTube. Could be a podcast. Could be blog. Could be email. What else have we got? We've got stories, threads. I mean, there are so much. Okay. So you can add, again, all the different places and platforms and sort of types of content for you to be able to specify what it's for. Then we can have a format. So this is going to help you see, okay, is this a video? Is this a written? So again, it could be a written social media post, or it could be a blog. You've got audio for kind of your podcasts, or it could be imagery. So this could be your carousels. It could be Pinterest, whatever you want. And again, if there's anything else, those are the main four that you will have. So this is your format. Okay, so then thinking about what do you need in your content, and you can rearrange any of these by literally dragging and drop. Okay, so I just wanted to show you kind of the categories and how you sort of organize your content first before we then start creating the different actual pieces that make up the content. If you want to be able to have, if you want this further down, you can create a new field and then drag it, or you can right click or control click, and you can do insert left or insert right, and that's going to obviously add it either side. All right. Okay, so then so you might have a title. So I'm just going to keep that as a single line text. We could have caption, and I'm going to make this long text. It's going to be long, more more stuff. If you wanted to, you could have a hook field if you want to. Then you might have images. Now for this one, you can have it as an attachment. There we go. So you can literally drag and drop your images, which is great. So again, it gives you that visual view like you kind of have in Trello. So if I just come to, so when you add an image, again, you can see it here. So if you want to have a nice visual way, then you can see all those things like that there. So we've got images. You could then have one for your videos. So again, you can also store your videos here. Now, obviously, if you are going to be uploading images and videos, it is going to take the storage. And I can't remember what the limit is for storage inside of Airtable. But otherwise, you can always have a compressed file of that, or you could have a link to your video. So if you are storing your videos in Dropbox or Google Drive, you could also have a link to that particular thing if you want to. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to put an attachment. One of the other things that is useful if you use Canva a lot, you could also then add in the Canva link to any of your images, or some people make reels and stuff in there, so you could add that. So literally the possibilities are endless. What else do we need? So then we want call to action. So I'm going to do this again as a drop down. And so for this, again, in the template, you've got all of these fields already in there. But again, you can add in all of your different things. So you might do like DM me. You could have that as a call to action. You might have like a comment keyword if you're using things like ManyChat and you want to automate people to comment on your Instagram or Facebook and you automatically send things. You could do that. And then you can obviously add in, name of lead magnet. You could have name of product 1, service 2, so you can literally just add in your specific lead magnets, your products, your services, whatever, and have that list there. Oh, hold on. Create. There we go. I'm going to move that here, actually, up there. Okay. What else? So we then have got images, and then thinking about your process. So you've kind of got your creation mode, and then you've got kind of once it's posted. So if you want to, you could add in that you have a link to the actual post. If you want to actually then grab the Instagram link or the Facebook link or the YouTube URL, you could then have a URL like that if you want to. You can create little check boxes. So if you want a bit of yep, I've done that. It could be to remember to move files, so if you've got stuff on your phone, move it into a folder. Or it could be, have I given this to my editor? If you've got somebody editing your videos, have I actually given this to my social media coordinator who's scheduling stuff? So you can use checkboxes if you want. You can have users. So if you do want to have any team members, you can have users where then you can assign things to them. And you can call things, you've got automations in here as well. So you can even set it up where if a particular status or something hits something else, that it notifies somebody. So that could be great for when, like I say, if you have got somebody else that's scheduling your post for you, when we actually create the different views, but you could have it where if one of these posts then hits the ready to schedule, then either an email or you can have a Slack message or whatever you want goes to that person to say this is ready, however you choose to do it. Okay, so that's just kind of the main things I think for your content. Again, you can add as many things as you want. If you want to, you can even add in like an easy kind of rating for your performance if you want, like how did it do? Or you can get more granular and add in all the different metrics if you want to. I added this one just as a kind of a sense check of like, actually, how well did this do, right? Okay, so we've got our columns set up. So then it's a case of adding in your your actual content. So again, if you're doing things up front, and then you can also add things in if you do those ad hoc posts as well. And again, if you want to reorder some of these things, you can literally just, like, if you want to have this date later, you can just drag and drop and, you know, move it back. Totally up to you what you do with it. Okay. So I'm just going to add in demo post 1. I'm just going to add in some information so we can then see what we can do with it. Okay. So then you just click. So you go, right, I'm going to make this into a reel. I'm also then going to have it on Facebook as well. And I'm going to have it on, I didn't want that. I wanted TikTok. Okay. Okay. So this is then a video, and you can put in 3 ways to organize your content, for example, pop in your caption and do all the stuff. Okay. So this is then going to be some kind of lead magnet, and this is going to happen. Let's do tomorrow, my birthday. All right. So now we can build out other views. Okay. So again, you may want to have a view where you can easily see the different statuses. Okay. So with this, again, you can choose. So Kanban is like the Trello view where you've got the sort of the board view. So you can hit Kanban and we can do content by status and do create new view. And then it's going to ask you, what do you want to categorize it with? So we're going to select status. So you can see this isn't giving me all of the columns that we created. It's only going to give you the single select drop down option for you. Okay, so we'll do done. And if you want to, you can choose to hide the empty stacks. You only see things, or you can have all of it there. Okay. And anything that's uncategorized will also be in this uncategorized bit. So now we can see our demo post here is ready to schedule. All right. So that's one view setup. You may also want to create your content by call to action. So by offer. So we're then going to do by CTA. Okay. So now we can see this lead magnet here. So this is great. Again, if you are launching, relaunching stuff that you regularly promote, you know, say you might want to do relaunching a program like 2, 3, 4 times a year, whatever. And if you're going, right, where's all my content for this launch that I've done before that worked well, stuff that you know that you're going to repeat, this is where Airtable really comes into its power, because you can then go, right, here's all of my posts that are connected to that. And if you want to have a separate tab just for your launch stuff, you can do that too. With mine, I'm going to move mine over to a separate tab, but I just want to show you. So I created a launch content view, and then I created a category for like what stage is it. So this is pre-launch, cart open, closing cart. So you can see here, there's all of these different posts of things that you do on a regular basis, like cart's closing, you know, and you have those emails and posts. You can have that all there so that next time when you either launch something new, you can use these previous posts as like templates, or if it's the same offer, you then can just reuse the stuff and just tweak any dates and any specifics, and off you go. So it just makes life so much easier. Okay, so then you obviously got a calendar view, so you're bound to want to see your content by date. So we're going to choose publish date and say done. Okay, and again, if you're in like planning mode and you like to plan your content in a visual way with a calendar, you can say, do you know what? No, I'm going to move that to Monday. And you can just drag your stuff around, which makes it really, really easy. So this is where, you know, think about what your process is. What would make things easier for you? How would specific views or like, how do you like to see your content? How do you like to work? What stages do you have inside of your own content process? Like, even if it's simple as creating a B-roll, you know, you need to have a thing like, okay, I need to record some kind of B-roll copy, got to write a hook, you got to write the caption, you know, having just a place you can go, right, okay, where am I in the process? And then having that hook and the caption and everything stored, even if you, and then next time you just change out the B-roll video, could have a different video, but use the same text or try a different hook. And so it just allows you to be able to view your content in the way that you want. So other views potentially say you can have a gallery view. So if you're more visual with like the images, you can even have a gallery view if you want to. But again, you can literally play around with these different views and see what you want. The other thing that's great is you don't have to have all of the columns showing in every single view, right? So if we're going to do another list, so let's say we want to create a bit of a process with, if you only want to come in here and look at the post that you need to work on right now. So we can create this grid view, and we could call this could be for review, or it could be, you could call it whatever you want. It could be to put your human touch on it, to write hooks. Like, you can literally break down your process however you choose. But let's just do for review, and we're going to do create new view. So for this one, we want to filter by the status. So you can say, if the status, and you can choose like, is it none of, is it any of? So for this one, we want, is it, so again, you can have multiple if you want, or you could only have it that it's just the one. So if this is to be approved, for example, then only ones that are to be approved. If you want to also see ones that are kind of in progress and also to be approved, you could also have multiple by choosing the is any of, and then you can choose multiple. So if you want to still be able to work on stuff, you can do it like that. So it's totally customizable however you want to do it. So let's just keep this simple for now. So this is to be approved. Okay. So if you've got people working for you, if you've got VAs, editors, whatever, helping you, then this is a great way to be able to structure your Airtable. So you then can come in as the CEO and go, right, okay, I need to check that this is all right, it's got the right voice. Or if you need to come in here and you need to put your voice into, especially when people are using, if you're using AI, which a lot of people are now, then you can come in here and you can do that. But if you don't want to see everything, if you're like, actually, do you know what, I don't need to see, I don't need to see this for this one. I don't need to see, because it's not published yet, so we can hide that. I don't need to see that right now because let's say the image is in there. So you can, again, hide the columns that you don't need to see. So this is a great way to, again, structure. So mine, I've got loads and loads and loads of columns for certain things. So particularly my video podcast, in my main thing, I have got loads and loads and loads of columns. But I now, and again, I've been tweaking this recently, so I've now created a in production. So I've hidden, there's 20 hidden fields, right? So I'm not so overwhelmed and I can see what I want. If I'm ready to create this for evergreen, so when posts have actually been published to my YouTube and my podcast, here's the ones where I can create some video clips, I can create carousels, kind of more evergreen stuff. And then I've created one for when I'm creating pins for Pinterest, for again, my published posts. So I've created these different fields to just give me the information that I need. So this is why it's really, really powerful. Now, this is a separate tab just for my video podcast. But again, you can do whatever you want for all of your other views. Okay, so that's for review. And then again, we can create another one for this is ready to publish. So if you or somebody else is actually scheduling stuff for you, and again, even if it's just you, like I do this for me too, because again, rather than seeing hundreds of pieces of content, if you just want to make it less overwhelming for your brain, then create these filters and create these views. So this is then it's approved. Actually, this can be approved and ready to schedule. Okay, so we can then have just that one. And then if you want to be able to see just all of your published stuff, again, you do the same thing, and we're going to filter, and this is that the status is published. Okay. And again, if you don't want to see thinking about the person that's going to be scheduling this, again, we don't need this performance right now. We could keep this there if they want to grab the link once it's published, but most of the time you're scheduling ahead of time. They may not need that, or they may need to download it, but ideally you'd want to have everything there ready for them. So they've got the caption, they've got the hook, they've got the call to action. So you might want to have a maybe a link with a call to action, especially if it's for something like Facebook or whatnot. You could have a field that's for a link. They may not need to see the format. Maybe they don't need to necessarily see the content intention, so you again, customize this how you want, which is why I love it so much. There is so much that you can do. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you is creating forms. So this is something that I've added a bit more recently. And this might be good for you if you want to get ideas out for posts that you want to create, but you don't want to see the overwhelming of like all these things, right? Or if you have, let's say you've done an ad hoc post and you just want to now, you just wrote it off the cuff in Facebook or in Instagram, whatever, and you want to get it in here. So you can create a form that gives you an easy view. So here's one I made earlier. So with mine, I've created an ad hoc posts one. And so obviously, again, you can see here's all of the fields, but I have only got a few things here for me. Inside of my planner one, I've got an idea form. So again, you may not want a separate tab for your planner. You may just want to you can keep it all in the same one and use the filters and views to allow for that. But I've created an idea form so I can say, right, what's the idea name? Like any just sort of brain dump information. What's the content type? What's the goal? What's the format? Submit. And then it's going to go into the list. So this is where having those different views with like what's published, what's not, can help your content to stay organized. So if you want to be able to create something like this, so again, it could be an idea form or it could be this kind of ad hoc form, then let's build that out together now. So for this, we're going to come down to form, and I recommend just choosing create a form view rather than the other one, because that doesn't show in your list here. It creates it in what's called an interface. So if ever you create, these are kind of like dashboards. It's great for pulling metrics and stuff together and showcase your all of your different data in different ways. But for this purpose, you might just want to keep it as that simple one, okay? So you could call this idea form if you've just got an idea for something to create, and then you can do create new view. And now we can build it how we want. So if you want to, you can remove all the fields and then drag in what you want. So we can have a post description. You might want to, let's think, you could have caption if you want to, or you could just have the description of kind of what you want, but let's do caption where you might just want to, or if you want to, you could even have an extra column for idea if you want. So you could have caption, you could have what's the format, whoops. What else might you want? So you might, if you want to, you could have what the call to action is. Otherwise, you can just leave it at that for now. What else? What else have I got in mind? I can't remember what I've got now. The idea form, I've got name, content type, the goal, and the format. So that's what I've got in mind. So we've got content intention. Yeah, so you could just have it like that, okay? So, and then what you can do is you can choose show a submit another response. And so what this does is that when you have filled the form in, you hit submit, it gives you a button for create another one. So if you've got a few ideas you want to get in, it's then just going to come up. You can say, right now, do another one, blah, 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 do another one, and until you're done. So you can select that show submit when you're done, okay? So once that's done, then you can just open the form and then you get just this nice clean view. So if you're like, actually, I've got an idea for a reel, I'm going to do, maybe you've seen a cool trend you want to do, or if you've got an idea from somebody else, or you've just thought, actually, do you know what? I want to do a reel where I'm showing behind the scenes of my content process, right? And then you go, okay, so for this, it probably could be more connection, like building with your current audience, depends on where you're posting it. And then you can write down any information. Again, for this, you may potentially want to have like an idea or a notes one instead of the caption, potentially. But if you've got any ideas, of just get it out of your head. And then I'm going to do this as a video. Make a tutorial on my content hub, right? And then you hit submit. And then you can see now we've got this. Do you want to create another one? So if you're like, no, I've only just got the one, or if you go, no, I've got another idea, I'm going to do that too, then you can just hit submit and it brings up the form again in a new one. So now we can see when we come to our grid view, here is our idea that we have populated. All right. So yeah, do you know what? I'm going to add in another field and I'm going to call this just notes, just for shits and gigs. Okay. So this is where you can get, if you want to just make notes there, you can do that. Okay. So we'll just tweak our form and we will do, so rather than the caption, I'm going to take that out. We're going to have notes. Let's put that in. All right. Okay. So, and again, if you can share the form, so if you want other people to get any ideas in or whatever, or if you just want to have an easy link that you can just click on, then you can do share form. Otherwise, you can just come in here and then do open form. So you can see how flexible this is to you and your business, to your style of working. If you've got a team or if it's just you, like it's just me in my business. And this is why I'm so passionate about creating systems, repeatable processes, automation in particular, because it helps me do so much. In my new part of my process, I'm creating these automations. I'm going to create another video on that where I'm going to show you now how I can actually generate blog posts from my podcast and video episodes. I'm going to show you how you can create the show notes, like the introduction, takeaways, timestamps, quotes, resources mentioned. Just saves you so much time. I was using another tool for this. Now I got it as a lifetime offer, but it's now monthly. And so if you were, it's a really great tool that basically does all of this stuff. But I've now been able to automate it where I can click this button. It's going to run through AI and an automation, and it's then going to populate inside my content hub, which for me, it's just more time-saving things. Then I've going to be creating more automation. So I think I've got another one here for creating the promotions. This can be creating the promotional email, creating the promotional caption and stuff. So I'm still working on some extra pieces, but these are set up and ready to go. So I will be creating another video on that. So make sure that you go and check this video here. If it's there, it may not be there yet. If it is, I'll be linking here, or it'll be linked in the description of this video, or just make sure that you're subscribed, and then you can obviously look through my videos and you can find that in case you're watching this kind of later. The other thing that you might want to do is be able to see your content in groups of the platform. So in my content hub, I can easily see when I'm in planning mode what's going out to what platform. And so a good way to be able to use this is one of the views here called list. And then you can then say, okay, I want to group together my posts by platform. And so this is then a really nice way. So you can see what post is going out on what platform. And so you can see here we've got, post one is both Instagram Reels and TikTok and Facebook Reels. But if you want to be able to easily see, okay, what's going out on Instagram when, what's going out on TikTok, what's going out on emails, then this view is a really good way to be able to see that. And you can then add the different columns that you want. So you can then add in, is it levels? Can't remember if it's levels or, so we've got all content. And then you can choose from all of the columns, obviously in your main one, what you actually want to see. So you might want to have your title. You can literally select whichever ones you want. You can have the date if you want, and anything else that you may need. And so with this view, then we can hit done. And then we're just going to see this bit. So again, you can add whatever you want. It's a slightly cleaner view than having all the different columns, but the piece that I like and I use personally is being able to see exactly what's going out on what platform, rather than it, sort of being in a like this where you can't actually see it. I like to be able to see, okay, what's actually planned. Have I got the consistency there? Actually, have I only planned one email? Okay, I need to maybe plan an extra couple more. And so it just gives you a nice view to be able to do that. So lots to go through. Again, hopefully you're not feeling too overwhelmed. If you don't want to have to build this out yourself, again, you can just come and grab my template where I've basically done all of this stuff for you. You can just go and it's super cheap. You can go and buy it, add it into your account, and then all you need to do is come and customize the pieces that you need, which will mostly be your offers. It will be like your call to actions. The rest you can probably just leave as it is, unless there's anything that you want to specify. But all the views, all of these, all the setup is all done for you. So you can just go and grab that and add it into your own account. But otherwise, if you kind of want to dive and you want to build this yourself, then hopefully this video has really helped you to see how much you can do. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them below, and make sure that you are subscribed and you hit that bell so you get notifications of new videos that are coming. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these kind of show and tell and demo videos, because not only has it helped me massively with some more advanced stuff lately, I want to kind of pass that forward. And I love creating tutorials. It's kind of how I got started. A lot in kind of helping other businesses was when I started my first business back in nearly 10 years ago. It was me doing a lot of stuff and people asking how to do things. And I'm just a natural kind of person that I'll go, hey, I'll just create a video for you. So that's kind of where my love for this came. So doing this is right up my street. But if you've got any questions, drop them below. I will come back and I will make sure that I get those answered, or create, other videos to potentially show you anything that is either more specific or go into more detail or anything like that. But do make sure you check the description below for resources I've mentioned, or if you want me to build anything custom for you based on your process with any automations as well, then you can also contact me. There'll be a link below that you can get in touch and we can chat through what you might need. I do some done for you systems and automation set up for you. So happily to chat through your project and see, can I take the stress away from you, and I can build you some cool stuff that's going to save you and your business so much time, so much energy, and make it run more efficiently. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.